Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We are surrounded by technology, and it seems like we can't get away from it. But do you know how much technology is invading your life? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, this is like my favorite subject. So it's wonderful.
You do love this one.
I really do, yes.
Okay,
So,
let's hear. What have you got?
Why? What's invading your life?
Oh, nothing. But
Well, what kind of technology is invading your life?
yeah.
Why do you feel that way?
I think that we're moving into a place where technology is happening. You know, all these movies, iRobot. What's the other? There's been different. I just watched one the other day. Anyway, and they reckon that the robots are going to take over the world and humans are going to be, eradicated and et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think it's going to be that kind of change. But I think technology is going to rise up and influence us more so than we think it does, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely plays a big part in our life
does.
already. I mean,
What do you think about the job that you do, the software you're selling, right?
oh, absolutely.
And what changes it does for different organizations?
Well, I mean, just think about your daily life. I mean, I think we're all affected by it. And I'm not just talking social media. I mean, I
Right.
think just your typical email, the fight that you have with your child every day, like put the Kindle down, put the whatever down, put this down, but
Turn off the TV.
yeah,
turn off
but
the
even
Xbox.
but even to do your but even to do their research or whatever. I mean, everybody's affected by looking on Google or you're constantly in front of a computer. I mean,
Doing something.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, a lot of our lives are really dictated by technology, whether it's work, whether it's whatever it is. But specifically artificial intelligence. I mean, I know we were talking about even Alexa or
Siri, Echo.
yeah, anything being in your home like that.
Your phone is
what they're
part of
picking
artificial
up on
intelligence.
and what they're learning and even what we're teaching them. So we kind of even have a joke in our home right now because with the gift certificates that we got for Christmas or every paycheck or something, my husband is going to Home Depot and literally buying a switch every paycheck to change out and put in the house to teach Alexa to turn something on.
Oh.
So I don't know if it's
So
great.
you do have Alexa in your home?
We finally
And do you?
agreed.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have Alexa in your
No.
home?
Yeah.
So,
More than one.
yeah, good, bad, indifferent. So I'm like, we were like against it, then we were for it, and then I'm like, I don't know, is it good? Is it making us lazy? Because now I'm like, Alexa, turn on the living room lights. Magic, like they go on now. But then the things they're picking up on in the background,
Exactly.
or in the
Yes.
morning, she's reading us the morning headlines. So, I mean,
How do you gauge,
Right.
what's enough? Because everything you ask Alexa, everything you ask Google, I read it somewhere that, yes, it's giving you information, but what information is it getting from you?
Yeah.
It's what artificial intelligence is that it's just collating all this data and then it's going to feed something if somebody needs information. So there's a book out and I couldn't find it to bring it. And he has done this study on information that's out there freely. And he's been able to study the information. So like during the election, he said for Obama, he said, how many times was the word nigger put in? Do you know what I mean? And how did that relate to the election? And then when Trump came in, what words, there were certain words that were used and that information was used to, I don't know, like you're saying, if it's to sell a product or better yet, are they going to use that information to, for a certain group, use that to manipulate certain answers and questions to share
I've
with
never
the
even really
public.
thought of any of this, you guys.
well,
That's fascinating.
So you even mentioned my work. So you talk about like collections for investigations now, and you talk about even a crime scene now, what they collect at a crime scene now. So any type of data now, anything that they're collecting data, you think about where all of your data is stored. I mean, you go to I guess, a typical crime scene now, you can take any type of storage device, whether that's a phone, a thumb drive, your PC. I mean, and now, I mean, with the advent of Alexa or Google Home, or, I mean, there are just so many things
Devices
that
that
devices that they, you know, that you can collect on and store that data. It's just
So it's
mind-boggling.
obviously growing.
It is,
I heard that Trump
absolutely.
signed an executive order this week, in fact, to give more money for artificial intelligence. That China is starting to catch up with the United States because we are the #1 nation in the world. We're ahead of the game right now, but it's very competitive. So it's not going away.
No.
It's growing like mad.
Billions,
But we need to put
isn't it?
safety restrictions on, or right?
Right. Because they say that you can go in and actually change the settings. Like we used to have Alexa in our room, and there, if you mention Alexa or certain words, it would light up.
It does light up.
And I was like, well, we're not saying anything that for her to, or him, or whatever, to light up. And so that freaks me out. Because then there was a crime thing where they used some of the information, because the guy had an argument with a woman or something. They were able to use that information.
So it's all stored on Alexa?
It's stored like in a big database, or they call it the
Really?
cloud. Yeah, and so they can retrieve it. They asked, Google has the rights to this, but they're saying because it's helping crime, solve a crime. But then where do you draw the line when it comes to privacy? And so the people were up in arms about that, and so we took ours out because.
Right.
You're doing stuff you don't know if it's being recorded.
Well, and I think it's interesting also when you choose to bring that into your home, like what you're even calling it. Do you call her Alexa? Do you call
our friend?
Yeah, you can choose to give the device a name.
Yeah.
Because
close.
because then the kids start having fun with it. They treat the device as a toy. Alexa, do this, find this, say this. So it's very interesting.
But it's even on your, like, I don't have Alexa or
You can have it on
any
your
of that.
phone.
But it's interesting if you're having a conversation, I want to go on a trip to Italy, and you're talking about it. And then next time you're on Facebook, Italy ads.
Yes, that's right.
That was weird the first couple times that happened.
Yeah, well,
That's
it's
right.
very much the same that Alexa acts like Siri, and then I've even noticed the kids will have like competitions between, is Alexa better than Siri? Like they're devices, they're just search devices,
Ew.
but.
And they say they're only using it for advertising, marketing, but the information is there.
But
for them to
everything
do
can
whatever
get
they
hacked
want.
in this world. So
That's
this
true too.
information is going to be
Yeah.
hacked.
Right.
And people are going to listen.
And remember when we didn't have cell phones?
Yeah, right.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Crazy times we live in.
Did you ever see the robot that they have created? What's her name? Sophie? Did you see that? Where she looks like she's human, and they can ask her questions. She's an artificial intelligence. And she's kind of a creepy lady. But anyway.
A creepy lady.
That's for another time.
Yeah, maybe more on Sophie than another time.
Oh, wow.
There's more studio chatter coming up.